Hola, muy buenas, soy Gail de Ama Rose y hoy estaremos mirando específicamente phrasal verbs con el verbo take. So espero que sería útil y empezamos. So la primera phrasal verb que vamos a mirar is to take apart. And take apart means to desmontar, so to take apart. So for example, if you have a toy, if you have an engine and you take everything apart, so desmontar. And the examples that I have here, the first one is we had to take the pieces apart to fix the problem. We had to take the pieces apart to fix the problem. La segunda, we had to take the furniture apart when we moved. And la tercera frase is it needs to be taken apart to further investigate the issue. Puede ser si es un lavadora y no está funcionando y tenemos que desmontarlo, ¿no? Para averiguar el asunto, averiguar qué es el problema. So it needs to be taken apart to further investigate the issue. Okay, so esto es desmontar, to take apart. Okay, la segunda phrasal verb, to take after. And take after significa parecerse a alguien. Okay, so to parecerse a alguien. He takes after his dad, or he takes after his granddad. Okay, y puede ser personalidad o puede ser físicamente también los rasgos. ¿Vale? Okay, so the next one we have is to take up. And take up significa empezar un hobby. Okay, so empezar un hobby, to take up. So I want to take up knitting, or I want to take up photography. I want to take up judo. I want to take up gymnastics. ¿Vale? So empezar un hobby, so to take up. The next one is to take over. And to take over significa encargarse de algo. Okay, so encargarse. The easiest way to think about this one is, for example, if you think about a mother-in-law, and her son tells her that he's getting married, and instead of letting the couple decide how they want to plan their wedding, the mother-in-law takes over everything, the planning, the type of food they're going to have, and she doesn't let the bride choose how she wants to plan or have her wedding. Okay, so to take over, encargarse de algo. Okay, so examples we have: she is taking over the new company. She is taking over the new company. So está encarga, se encarga, perdón, se encarga de la nueva empresa. Okay, they are taking over the new project. Ellos se encargan del nuevo proyecto. Okay, so they are taking over the new project. When we also have to take off. Now, take off has two meanings. The first one is to take something off. It could be to take off your earrings, take off your jumper or your shoes or your watch. Okay, so to take something off. But it also means to quitar algo, quitar la chaqueta o lo que sea. And also despegar. Okay, so to take off like an aeroplane. Okay, so the aeroplane takes off. So let's have a look at some examples. So I'm taking off my shoes. I've taken off my mask. The plane has taken off. And also my new business is taking off. So figuratively, we can use take off, despegar, to say that something is successful. in this case, the new business. Okay, so my new business is taking off. Okay, so let's have a review of all the phrasal verbs that we've just looked at. I know that there are a lot, but I've summarized all of the verbs that we're looking at today with take. So we have take apart, which was desmontar, take after, parecerse a alguien, take up, empezar un hobby, take over, encargarse de algo o de alguien. Take off can be quitar o despegarse. So if you need a moment to revise those phrasal verbs, you can pause now. And if not, we are now going to practice these phrasal verbs. So let's start. So let's have a look at this sentence. So after the CEO resigned, the new executive beep the company and implemented new strategies. Which phrasal verb do we need to place here? The phrasal verb that we've looked at with take, which one do we need to place in this gap? And the answer is took over. Okay, so we're talking about the past. So after the CEO resigned, which is he resigned in the past, the new executive took over the company and implemented new strategies. So después que el CEO dejó el trabajo, el nuevo ejecutivo se encargó de la empresa y implementó nuevas estrategias nuevas. Okay, so that is the first question. Let's go to the second one. So I'm thinking I'm going to beep painting as a new hobby. Which phrasal verb meant to start a new hobby? And the answer is to take up. So I think I'm going to take up painting as a new hobby. Okay, the next one. My dad loves to beep old engines and rebuild them from scratch. From scratch means de nuevo, ¿vale? Entonces, ¿qué falta aquí? ¿Qué phrasal verb falta aquí? And the answer is to take apart. My dad loves to take apart, desmontar. So my dad loves to take apart old engines and rebuild them from scratch. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. The youngest daughter, her mother in both looks and personality. What phrasal verb do we need to place here? And the answer is takes after. The youngest daughter takes after her mother in both looks and personality. The next one. John beep his father in his love for classic cars. Which one could that be? It could be a trick question, who knows? The answer is, again, takes after. John takes after his father in his love for classic cars. Okay, let's go to the next one. Sarah decided to yoga to improve her flexibility and reduce stress. Which phrasal verb do we need to place in this gap? And the answer is takes up. So Sarah decided to take up yoga to improve her flexibility and reduce stress. The group of rebels attempted to the government by force. What phrasal verb are we missing in this sentence? And the answer is to take over. So the group of rebels attempted to take over the government by force. Okay, let's go to the next one. The new manager had big plans for the department and was eager to and start implementing them. And the answer is take over. So the new manager had big plans for the department and was eager to take over and start implementing them. The next one we have is before entering the house, everyone had to their shoes and leave them at the door. And the answer is to take off. So before entering the house, everyone had to take off their shoes and leave them at the door. Okay, so the next one. The airplane was delayed for an hour before finally from the runway. The airplane was delayed for an hour before finally from the runway. And the answer is taking off. So the airplane was delayed for an hour before finally taking off from the runway. Okay, so well done with that. I hope that was extremely useful. Y nos vamos a ver en el próximo video. Hasta luego.